The First Home Super Saver scheme sounds simple. Save your deposit inside super and pay less tax. But most people misunderstand exactly what comes out the other end, and the confusion costs them money or scares them off entirely. In this video, I will walk you through what FHSS actually does, what it does not, and the exact steps to use it properly. Here is the headline number. The scheme lets you withdraw up to $50,000 of eligible voluntary super contributions you have made since the 1st of July 2017, plus the earnings on them, according to the ATO, but it is capped at $15,000 per financial year, so you cannot just dump it all in at once. Before any steps, you need to understand the boundaries. The ATO is clear that FHSS only covers personal voluntary contributions, so your employer's super guarantee and any spouse contributions cannot be touched. And here is the bit that surprises people. At withdrawal, you only access 85% of your eligible before tax contributions plus deemed earnings, not the full amount. This is why people bother. Someone on $80,000 pays a marginal rate of around 34.5%, including Medicare, but money salaries sacrificed into super is taxed at just 15%. According to ATO rates, that 19.5-point gap on $15,000 a year works out to roughly $11,700 in tax savings across 4 years. Step 1 is to find out exactly what you can release. Log into MyGov, link your ATO account. If you have not already, then navigate to Super and select First Home Super Saver Scheme and request a determination. The ATO will calculate your maximum releasable amount based on your eligible contributions, up to $15,000 a year and $50,000 total. When your determination comes back, compare the numbers to the caps. If you have been contributing consistently, it should sit close to the $15,000 annual and $50,000 lifetime limits set by the ATO. If it is much lower than that, that is your signal that you are leaving money on the table and need to start contributing more deliberately. Step 2 is setting up the contributions. Log into your super fund and check your year-to-date concessional contributions, because that includes what your employer already pays. Subtract that from the $27,500 concessional cap to see your headroom, then ask payroll to salary sacrifice up to $15,000 a year aimed at FHSS, staying inside that overall cap. This cap is the one that trips people up. The ATO sets a total concessional contributions cap of $27,500 a year, and that includes your employer's super guarantee plus any salary sacrifice. If you push past it, you trigger extra tax and charges, so your FHSS contributions have to fit underneath that ceiling, not on top of it. Step 3 is timing. When you're ready to buy, submit a request to release your FHSS amount through ATO online services, and crucially do this before you sign a contract. Note the timelines the ATO gives you to sign a contract to buy or build, and coordinate with your broker and conveyancer so the released funds actually land before settlement. One condition catches investors off guard. The ATO requires that you actually live in the property you buy with FHSS funds for at least 6 months within the first 12 months of purchase or completion. This is strictly an owner-occupier scheme, so if you're planning to rent the place out from day one, FHSS is not for you. Here is the multiplier most people miss. The FHSS caps are per person, not per property. So a couple who both qualify can each release up to $50,000, pooling $100,000 together on a $700,000 home, with a $140,000 deposit that covers around 71% of the deposit between the two of you. The biggest mistake is treating FHSS as your entire deposit. A 20% deposit on a $700,000 metro home is $140,000, but FHSS gives a single buyer at most $50,000 in contributions. That means you still need roughly $90,000 from other savings, so FHSS is a powerful top-up, not a complete solution. The second mistake is the double tax fear. Yes, your FHSS release is added to your assessable income, but the ATO applies a 30% FHSS tax offset to that amount. So if your marginal rate is 34.5%, the effective extra tax on release is only about 4.5%, which is nowhere near the slug people imagine. Let us recap fast. Request your determination in MyGov. Set up salary sacrifice up to $15,000 a year while staying under the $27,500 cap, and request your release before you sign a contract. Remember the limits. 50,000 max per person, only 85% of before tax contributions, and you must live in the home for 6 months within the first year. If you're even thinking about buying in the next few years, log into MyGov and request your FHSS determination this week so you know exactly where you stand. Subscribe for more plain English breakdowns of the schemes that actually move the needle, and check out our next video on the first home guarantee and how it stacks with FHSS.